All right, good Monday morning. This is First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Brad Penn. We're still a little under the weather, but I am improving, and I will be working today. Just got a little nagging cough, as you can hear, and occasionally a scratchy throat. But we've got a lot going on here in the next 24 hours. The first things first, it is warm and extremely sunny right now across the Carolinas. Temperatures have jumped into the 60s and 70s. We're well on our way into the low 80s. I'm thinking like 82, 83 today. Certainly a possibility. But the bigger concern for me is what's going on to our west. You can see the line of strong to severe thunderstorms along a very strong cold front. There is a lot of wind energy in the atmosphere today, and this is going to mean some serious storms even into the overnight hours. Let's turn all this off temporarily, and I'll show you what the models are starting to look at for the overnight hours. The first model we're going to look at is what we call the HRW. It's basically a short-range, high-resolution model, and so the first thing you're going to see is future radar. And again, this is out pretty far. Let me go out to current time here. This is currently what's going on about 2 o'clock this afternoon. The line of storms will be moving across the Tennessee Valley, Ohio Valley. As we go into the future, we're going into the evening hours. This is around 8 p.m. tonight, still over in Tennessee. And then about 11 p.m. midnight starts to move into the mountains. Then we go into 6Z, which is basically you're talking really early in the morning, basically from about 3 or 4 in the morning, the squall line trying to move across the mountains here into the Piedmont, and then pretty much moving across the area by about 9Z. You're talking 5 a.m. here. The one thing that's a little concerning right in here is you look at these individual little cells. This is the model trying to hint that there might be some singular cells out ahead of the main line, which is something I'll watch carefully, but then by about 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, everything is well east of us. Okay, so that was a HRW model, short range. This is the NAM model. Again, not as high resolution, but still a pretty good model. We'll see the future radar. Again, here you are. This is at about 11 o'clock tonight, moving towards the mountains. This is about 2 a.m. and then we move into about 5 a.m. and there you go, you got the squall line crossing the area. So what are the concerns overnight? Well, some of the things I'm worried about is the amount of wind shear. Wind shear in the atmosphere is one of those things you got to be really wary of in these type of situations. You see all these pinks, that's wind shear above 300 meters per second So basically anything above 250, you've got the potential for supercells within this line. So as we go into the overnight hours, same model, you can see out ahead of the squall line, we've got a lot of wind shear here. So that means there's a lot of energy. This is directional and some speed shear. So if you can tap into that shear, which is the difference in wind speed or direction and height, you can get severe weather and even tornadoes. What gets you into that wind shear is something we call CAPE. That's basically the convective available potential energy. Think of that as gasoline. That's how tall the storm can get if it can build. So let's take a look at what the CAPE looks like for the same time frame. There's not a lot. Everything you see in the blue is between 500 and 1,000, but this yellow is above 1,000. So that is just enough, especially considering the amount of wind shear we're going to have overnight. That gives me pause that we're going to be looking at some severe weather overnight. Storm Prediction Center has already put everything in yellow under a slight risk. We've got a moderate risk back to the west. The potential tornado risk in the green here, that is about a 2% risk of a tornado. In the kind of yellowish area, that's between 5 and 10%. Potential for large damaging hail, you're looking at about a 5 to 10% chance in the Carolinas, much bigger chance in the west. And then severe winds. Severe winds, we're basically between 15 and 20% chance of severe winds. Then back to the west, you can see that gets up close to 50%. So that gives you the kind of potential of what could happen tonight. Here's a look at what's going on right now. We'll put the watch outline in the warnings. There it is right now to our west. We'll be tracking it all night long. This will be a night that you need to have a weather alert radio, or you need to be getting text from me, either from my Facebook page, my Twitter account, or from wcnc.com, because this is one of those nights we're going to get nighttime storms. You're going to be sound asleep. And I could give you the warning in plenty of time, but if you don't get it, it's useless. So make sure you have the cell phone charged up and ready to go tonight. Of course, I'll see you today starting at 4, 5, 5:30, and 6 on News Channel 36. Have a great Monday.